Ever wonder how a low-budget, raunchy teen comedy from the early '80s became one of the most talked-about movies of its time? Because behind all the laughs and that infamous shower scene, Porky's hides a story packed with drama, controversy, and unexpected success. From wild behind-the-scenes moments to the surprising ways it changed Hollywood comedy, Porky's has more secrets than you might think. Here are 15 weird facts most fans never knew about Porky's. Fact 1. Director Bob Clark revealed that X rating. Director Bob Clark once shared that the characters in Porky's were inspired by his own teenage and college experiences. He related most to Pee-wee, Billy, and Tommy, while the rest were based on real friends and classmates from his youth. Originally, Porky's received an X rating from the MPAA for its sexual content, forcing Clark to make several cuts to bring it down to an R. Actor Mark Harrier, who played Billy, later revealed that one deleted version of the famous shower scene would have definitely earned that X rating. In it, his character's anatomy was shown through the hole, and the girls reacted like a snake was slithering out. "It was this pathetic little thing," Harrier joked. "It would have brought the house down." Funny, not pornographic, exactly what Bob intended. As hilarious as it was, the studio wasn't willing to take the risk, and the scene was cut to keep the movie in theaters. Fact 2. Release date. There's often confusion about Porky's release date. Some say 1981, others 1982. The truth is, both are right. The film had a limited release in a few cities, including Colorado Springs and Columbia, on November 13, 1981, before officially going nationwide on March 19, 1982. Fact 3. Box office. Despite harsh reviews, Porky's turned into a box office sensation. Critics like Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert slammed it as crude and offensive, particularly for its portrayal of women and teen antics. But audiences didn't care. The movie held the #1 spot for 8 straight weeks in 1982 and ended up as the 5th highest-grossing film of the year, beating out Poltergeist and Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Not bad for a $4 million film that went on to earn over $105 million in North America alone. Fact 4. To retain the legal rights to remake. To keep the remake rights from expiring, a low-budget movie called Porky's Pimpin' Pee-wee was quickly made in 2009. This kind of project, known as an ashcan copy, is a common Hollywood trick to maintain ownership of a franchise. The story goes back to a 1994 rights transfer and a 2001 production deal. When plans for a big-budget remake fell through, the team rushed to film a cheap version before losing the rights. It was originally titled Porky's, The College Years, but later renamed Porky's Pimpin' Pee-wee. And yes, you can actually find it on YouTube if you're curious enough to check it out. Fact 5. Ireland. In Ireland, Porky's was first banned on February 1, 1982. But just 19 days later, the ban was lifted. Ironically, the controversy only fueled its success. The film went on to make history as the first movie to earn over £1 million at the Irish box office. Not bad for a raunchy teen comedy inspired by Bob Clark's school days and his need to pay the rent. Fact 6. Kim Cattrall. Kim Cattrall was hesitant at first to take a supporting role in Porky's. She didn't expect her name to appear so prominently on the poster, and afterward, many assumed the movie would ruin her career. In the years that followed, she found it difficult to land serious roles, largely because she'd been so heavily sexualized after the film's release. And if you're enjoying the video, subscribing to the channel would be as legendary as Pee-wee finally popping his cherry. Fact 7. Howard Stern. Radio host Howard Stern reportedly bought the rights to Porky's in 2002 and has said for years that he wants to produce a remake. But things got messy when 2 other production companies stepped forward, claiming they owned the rights too. The legal fight dragged on until 2013, when it was quietly settled, leaving the future of any Porky's remake still up in the air. Fact 8. Alex Karras and Susan Clark. Actors Alex Karras, Sheriff Wallace, and Susan Clark, Cherry Forever, were actually married in real life. Porky's was their second film together that same year, following Nobody's Perfect, 1981, with both playing characters tangled up in teenage mischief. Fact 9. Canadian production. Porky's became a Canadian production for tax reasons. Director Bob Clark shopped the script around to nearly every major studio, but they all turned it down, likely because of its raunchy content. Eventually, he secured financing from Melvin Simon Productions and a Canadian media company called Cattrall. Even though the movie was filmed around Miami, it was officially classified as a Canadian production, allowing it to benefit from government tax shelters. Because of that setup, Clark, an American citizen, ended up with sole writing credit, even though he had co-writers. Confusing? Yeah, but that's Hollywood accounting for you. Fact 10. Director Bob Clark's collaborations. Director Bob Clark built lasting creative partnerships with many of his Porky's cast members. He had already worked with Kim Cattrall on Tribute, 1980, and later teamed up with her again on Turk 182, 1985, and Baby Geniuses, 1999. Dan Monahan, who played Pee-wee, also reunited with Clark multiple times, appearing in Porky's 2, The Next Day, 1983, From the Hip, 1987, and Baby Geniuses. Fact 11. The Porky's franchise. Bob Clark directed Porky's and its sequel, Porky's 2, The Next Day, 1983, but chose not to return for the third film, Porky's Revenge, 1985. Fact 12. Porky's video game. Believe it or not, there was even a Porky's video game, released for the Atari 2600 in 1983. Loosely based on the movie, players controlled Pee-wee as he tried to blow up Porky's bar by collecting explosives hidden in a shower room, all while dodging traffic like a Frogger level gone wrong. And honestly, for a bit of retro gaming nostalgia, it's not half bad. Fact 13. Original casting choice. The role of Porky Williams, the sleazy bar owner in Porky's, was played by American actor Chuck Mitchell, who later appeared in Better Off Dead in a similar role. But before Mitchell landed the part, the producers actually considered a real-life sheriff's deputy named Don Liddon from Broward County, Florida. He ultimately didn't get the job because, as they put it, his build was too slender. They wanted someone who looked more well-fed. Chuck Mitchell fit that image perfectly. The film also featured a young Kim Cattrall, who just a few years later would star in Police Academy and eventually Sex and the City. In Porky's, her character earned the nickname Lassie. And if you've seen the movie, you know exactly why. Fact 14. 20-something high schoolers. Despite being set in a Florida high school, most of the Porky's cast were nowhere near teenage age. Dan Monahan, Pee-wee, was 26. Mark Harrier, Billy, was 27, and Scott Columbie, Brian, was 29. And by the time Porky's Revenge rolled around, Columbie was 32, still playing a high schooler. It's not unusual in Hollywood. The cast of Grease was mostly in their late 20s and 30s. Ralph Macchio was 24 in The Karate Kid, and even Andrew Garfield was 31 playing a high school senior in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And honestly, it's probably for the best that Porky's didn't use actual teens. Given what happens in that movie, it would have been more than a little awkward. Fact 15. Failed remake. Porky's spawned 2 sequels, Porky's 2, The Next Day, 1983, and Porky's Revenge, 1985, but a proper remake has been stuck in limbo for years. Radio host Howard Stern bought the rights in 2002, planning to reboot the series, but the project quickly hit legal roadblocks. By 2011, 2 other companies were claiming ownership of the Porky's brand, leading to a lengthy dispute that was finally settled privately in 2013. Whether Stern still has the rights or the interest remains unclear. Meanwhile, in 2008, a company called Lontano Investments released a bizarre low-budget knockoff titled Porky's Pimpin' Pee-wee, reportedly made just to keep their rights from expiring. Its release was tiny, the reviews were brutal, and it vanished almost instantly. In short, Porky's has been trapped in a messy tangle of rights and lawsuits ever since. But who knows? Maybe one day, Howard Stern's long-promised remake will actually happen. And there you have it. 15 weird, wild, and downright surprising facts about Porky's that prove this raunchy teen comedy was far more than just locker room laughs. From real-life inspirations to banned releases and bizarre remakes, Porky's has earned its place as one of the most unforgettable cult hits of the 80s. But what do you think? Did any of these behind-the-scenes stories surprise you? Or do you still think Porky's could never be made today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this trip back to 80s cinema, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more fun movie deep dives just like this one.